They're hot, sticky sweet from their heads to their feet. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're taking a look at the history of Def Leppard. English rock band Def Leppard formed in Sheffield, England in 1977. Following lineup changes, the band's early personnel consisted of vocalist Joe Elliott, guitarists Pete Willis and Steve Clark, bassist Rick Savage, and drummer Rick Allen. Record labels quickly caught on after the release of their 1979 self-titled EP. With that effort, Def Leppard joined hard rock bands like Iron Maiden to spearhead the new wave of British metal in the late 1970s. Their full-length debut, On Through the Night, dropped the next year. However, it wasn't until producer Robert John Mutt Lang joined forces with the band for 1981's High and Dry that they began to develop their signature sound. That album yielded the ballad Bringin on the Heartbreak, which was accompanied by one of the first heavy metal music videos to receive considerable MTV airplay. Can't you see? No! While recording their next effort, the band sacked Pete Willis due to his drinking problem and hired guitarist Phil Collen. That move came just in time for their breakthrough American album, 1983's Pyromania. No serenade, no fire brigade, just the Pyromania. Come on. With that record, Def Leppard became pioneers in 1980s hard rock and glam metal, alongside bands like Warrant and Bon Jovi. Their success was further solidified by the platinum-certified single Photograph, which eventually sold over 10 million copies. As their U.S. popularity soared, Def Leppard embarked on a tour that saw them go from an opening act to headliners. In 1984, the band began recording their next album, When Disaster Struck. On December 31st, drummer Rick Allen was driving his Corvette when he veered off the road and crashed, leaving him without his left arm. Amazingly, he stayed with the band and learned to play with his left foot using a specially designed electric drum kit.
The biggest up we ever had was the return of the Thunder God.
Within 2 years, it was clear that the Thunder God was back in fine form when he performed at 1986's Monsters of Rock Festival. Fans were greeted by Def Leppard's next album, Hysteria, in 1987. In the UK, the Mutt Lang-produced record went straight to #1, but by contrast, it had a slow climb up US charts. That was until the release of Pour Some Sugar on Me. That popular single went to #2 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and became an 80s rock standard.
I'm hot, sticky sweet, from my head to my feet, yeah.
Once the power ballad Love Bites hit #1, this record was on pace to outsell Pyromania. Thanks to Hysteria's 3-year run on the charts, it sold over 20 million units and prompted a massive worldwide tour. To avoid lengthy breaks between albums, the band was soon back in studio, but tragedy struck again when Steve Clark was found dead from an accidental drug and alcohol overdose in 1991. This was a massive loss, as Clark was behind many of the riffs that formed the band's signature sound. However, Def Leppard regrouped. Though Colin had lost the other half of the Terror Twins, he played both guitar parts on 1992's Adrenalize.
Do we want to get right?
By that time, the music world had changed. The grunge movement was assaulting airwaves, and Def Leppard's characteristic harmonies and effects-heavy guitars were no longer the flavor of the day. The effort was still highly anticipated, but it failed to match the success of their previous two records by only moving 7 million copies. Former Dio and Whitesnake guitarist Vivian Campbell joined the band during the ensuing world tour. Def Leppard continued releasing albums throughout the years, but were unable to duplicate the popularity of their heyday. Following the experimental Slang, they went back to basics on 1999's gold-certified Euphoria. 2002's pop-influenced 10 sold poorly. During this period, Def Leppard found fame among younger generations after being the subject of several VH1 television projects and performing with contemporary artists like Taylor Swift. They also returned to the top 10 with 2008's Songs from the Sparkle Lounge and released their first live album, Mirror Ball, in 2011. Their iconic guitar riffs, distinctive vocals, and classic lyrics have made them one of the most commercially successful bands in history. Trends come and go, but Def Leppard has proven that when it comes to rock, they are an animal.